We need to resolve the tensions between some of our key objectives. We want the freedom to negotiate trade agreements with other countries around the world. We want to take back control of our laws. We also want as frictionless a border as possible between us and the EU, so that we don't damage the integrated supply chains our industries depend on, and don't have a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. As on security, what I am seeking is a relationship that goes beyond the transactional to one where we support each other's interests. So I want the broadest and deepest possible partnership, covering more sectors and cooperating more fully than any free trade agreement anywhere in the world today. And as I will go on to describe, we will also need agreements in a range of areas covering the breadth of our relationship. And I believe this is achievable because it is in the EU's interests as well as ours. So rather than having to bring two different systems closer together, the task will be to manage the relationship once we are two separate legal systems. The fact is that every free trade agreement has varying market access depending on the respective interests of the countries involved. If this is cherry picking, then every trade arrangement is cherry picking. We will also want to explore with the EU the terms on which the UK could remain part of EU agencies, such as those that are critical for the chemicals, medicines and aerospace industries. And if we were able to negotiate associate membership, we will be able to ensure that we could continue to provide our technical expertise. Third, associate membership could permit UK firms to resolve certain challenges related to the agencies through UK courts rather than the ECJ. Membership of the European Medicines Agency would mean investment in new innovative medicines continuing in the UK, and it would mean these medicines getting to patients faster as firms prioritise larger markets when they start the lengthy process of seeking authorisations. But it would also be good for the EU, because the UK regulator assesses more new medicines than any other member state, and the EU would continue to access the expertise of the UK's world-leading universities. The UK has been clear it is leaving the customs union. The EU has also formed a customs union with some other countries, but those arrangements, if applied to the UK, would mean the EU setting the UK's external tariffs, being able to let other countries sell more into the UK without making it any easier for us to sell more to them, or the UK signing up to the common commercial policy. That would not be compatible with a meaningful independent trade policy. The UK currently provides around 30% of the channels available in the EU. But equally, many UK companies have pan-European ownership, and there are 35 channels and on-demand services which are offered in the UK but licensed in the EU. So we should explore creative options with an open mind, including mutual recognition, which would allow for continued trans-frontier broadcasting, recognising the enriching role that British broadcasters and programme makers play, not only in British but more broadly in our common European culture. How financial services can and should be part of a deep and comprehensive partnership. We're not looking for passporting because we understand this is intrinsic to the single market, of which we would no longer be a member. It would also require us to be subject to a single rule book over which we would have no say. The UK has responsibility for the financial stability of the world's most significant financial centre, and our taxpayers bear the risk. So it would be unrealistic for us to implement new EU legislation automatically and in its entirety. But with UK-located banks underwriting around half of the debt and equity issued by EU companies and providing more than £1.1 trillion of cross-border lending to the rest of the EU in 2015 alone, this is a clear example of where only looking at precedent would hurt both the UK and EU economies. For the world is watching. We should not think of our leaving the EU as marking an ending, as much as a new beginning for the United Kingdom and our relationship with our European allies. Change is not to be feared, so long as we face it with a clear-sighted determination to act for the common good. Nor is Brexit an end in itself. Rather, it must be the means by which we reaffirm Britain's place in the world and renew the ties that bind us here at home. And I know that the United Kingdom I treasure can emerge from this process a stronger, more cohesive nation. A United Kingdom, which is a cradle for innovation, a leader in the industries of the future, a champion of free trade based on high standards, a modern, outward-looking, tolerant country, proud of our values and confident of our place in the world. This is an optimistic and confident future which can unite us all. A global Britain, which thrives in the world by forging a bold and comprehensive economic partnership with our neighbours in the EU and reaches out beyond our continent to trade with nations across the globe. The approach that I have set out today would implement the referendum result, provide an enduring solution, protect our security and prosperity, help us build the kind of country we want to be, and bring our country together by commanding the confidence of those who voted leave and those who voted remain. It is an approach to deliver for the whole of our United Kingdom and our wider family of overseas territories. I am in no doubt that whatever agreement we reach with the EU, our future is bright. The stability and continuity of centuries of self-government, our commitment to freedom under the rule of law, our belief in enterprise and innovation, but above all the talent and genius of all our people, and especially our young people, are the seeds of our success in the future, as they have been the guarantors of our success in the past. I look forward to discussing our future partnership with our European friends. Because although we are leaving the EU, and in that regard we will become separate, we are all still European and will stay linked by the many ties and values we have in common. And because it is only by working together that we will find solutions that work for all our peoples. Yes, there will be ups and downs in the months ahead. As in any negotiation, no one will get everything they want. We will not be buffeted by the demands to talk tough or threaten a walkout, just as we will not accept the counsels of despair that this simply cannot be done. We will move forward by calm, patient discussion of each other's positions. It's my responsibility as Prime Minister to provide that leadership for our country at this crucial time. By following the course I have set out today, I am confident we will get there and deliver the right outcome for Britain and the EU. A generation from now, what will be remembered is not the rough and tumble of negotiation, but whether we reached an enduring solution cast in the interests of the people we are all here to serve. So my message to our friends in Europe is clear.
We're going to give you £35 billion, and if we don't have a deal, you don't have any money and you're bust, so what are you going to do about it?
We know what we want, we understand your principles. We have a shared interest in getting this right. So let's get on with it.